For more on this, let's get straight to Aurel Braun. Aurel is a professor of international relations and political science at the University of Toronto. Welcome to the show. So we've been talking about the potential gas shortages for Europe, and I suppose the one silver lining is that it's not winter right now. Is the energy chief that we referred to earlier accurate that shortages are coming?
It does seem to be the case. The supplies have been cut by something like 60%. As you have reported, there's a dispute as to whether this is a technical issue or it's deliberate. The suspicion is that it is deliberate. And this is why I think there has been a re-examination of the entire relationship with Russia. And this is a re-examination in the case of Germany, which was led by Angela Merkel for a very long time, much admired German chancellor, who built an economy basically on inexpensive Russian natural gas and relatively inexpensive Russian oil, because she believed that there would be a kind of interdependence, that Russia would be a reliable supplier, that whatever risks there were, she could manage Vladimir Putin. It turns out that Vladimir Putin likely managed Angela Merkel, because the new chancellor has said that there has to be a radical change. He talked about a kind of Zeitenwende, which roughly translated is a watershed, or more accurately, a change in the era. And that is that Russia is not a reliable partner. That not only is it that Russia is a dangerous enemy, but so, partnerships do not work.
Professor, some experts are saying that Russia's using this natural gas and basically weaponizing it as the energy as leverage in all of its negotiations, specifically Ukraine. Do you think that's true?
The evidence seems to point in that direction. And if that is indeed the case, and that is the assumption made by Western intelligence agencies and Western foreign and economic ministries, then all of those premises, the theories that the Europeans base their policy in relations with Russia, those are being questioned. And this raises questions around the world, because there is a kind of assumption that if you can get energy at the lowest possible price, you should get it. That dependence is a two-way street. Well, it turns out that when you have a personalist regime, where Vladimir Putin's main goal is to make sure that he stays in power, that interdependence doesn't operate.
Right.
So it's not operating as Germany expected.
Is Europe ready if Russia were to just shut it all down in a month or two? What would Europe do?
It would be difficult. They do have some alternate supplies. It is possible that they would use more coal, and that is heavily polluting. This is what the Germans are doing. There's nuclear energy. The Germans were going to shut down all nuclear power plants. The French are emphasizing nuclear energy, and that could be a possibility, the delivery of LNG, liquefied natural gas, from Qatar and elsewhere. But it will be very difficult, and this is the lesson. This is a lesson about something that seems too good to be true, and it lasts for a while, and you pay a very heavy price. And Germany is now learning that lesson, and it's a very painful lesson.
Right. Some analysts, Professor, and I know this is not a popular view by any means, but some analysts are saying maybe Ukraine should just put up the white flag. You lose the east, you lose part of the south, the gas gets flowing again, and you have a sort of reset in relations with Russia. Tell me why this is a good idea or a bad idea.
Well, I think we have proof that it's a bad idea, because Russia has weaponized energy. And if they have done it once, they can do it again. And we know that the dispute that Russia has had with NATO, with Western Europe, was not only Ukraine. Let's not forget that Vladimir Putin said that he wanted to roll back the kind of changes that were in NATO post 1997, that there would be no NATO troops stationed in the Baltic states, in Poland. So the demands would not go away just because Ukraine surrendered, and dependence on Russian energy, here or elsewhere in the world for that matter, is a very difficult and very risky business.
Yeah. Aurel Braun, I would love to keep going. We're out of time. But I want to thank you very much, Professor of International Relations and Political Science at the University of Toronto. And the impact on everyday people is incredible.